Lord, have mercy, man. Whew. Today's gym session was tough, bro. I definitely integrated some new HIIT workouts. I did some box jumps, did some lunges. I did some farmer carries with the actual, the deadlift hex bar for 255 for 40 meters down and back without letting the weight down. I hit the sauna right after that. And man, this was the first time. This is how I know I'm actually tired or my body's drained, when I'm able to actually fall asleep in the sauna. Bro, as soon as I got in the sauna, I went to sleep. I was only in there for 7 minutes. I meant to do 6, but did 7. It's Wednesday. It's a blessed, beautiful day. Confidence is going through the roof. Awareness is always being keen and sharp, Communication is always effective, and staying on the point, staying on topic, and being purposeful. Super excited as always to be able to find new ideas and find new beliefs and find out what makes me me. Understanding the man that I am now, how far I've got myself from being the man that I am now, and visualizing and annotating and writing down and visualizing the man that I want to become. I started off in a pyramid of visualizing and writing down in a whole bunch of bullet points. What do I want for my life? What kind of man is that? And what type of habits is that? And as I'm looking at myself now, I made 2 separate lists. I have good habits and my bad habits. Listed all my good habits that I want to keep, like going to the gym, posting content, hitting the sauna, making time for family and friends. Bad habits was doom scrolling, lying, and just not showing up as purposeful as I need to, and then I put in these things together and being so truthful and so honest with myself and letting go of the old and stepping into the new. Understanding what type of characteristic traits and what habits does this higher version of myself have. Incorporating my good habits into my newer elevated habits and making them one. Discarding the old to become the new. And live the lifestyle, the mindset, the communication, the breath, the confidence, the energy, the alignment of the man and the lifestyle that I want for myself, to completely walk in alignment with that. I must walk in that mentally and spiritually before I can walk in it physically. Nothing can exist physically without existing mentally. You must become that which you want mentally before you can become that which you desire physically. That's why it's so important to not be so fixated on seeing this third dimensional world as proof of evidence that you are confident, that you are smart, that you do have great communication skills, and that you are a man of your word, because it has to exist here before it can exist out there. Yes, you may not be, dang, the lighting went down. Yes, you may not actually be at the weight or the physique that you really want, but you tell yourself that I am 215 pounds. I am lean. I am confident. I do have great communication skills. I never fold, and I always stand for what I believe in. I stand up for myself. I have conviction. I have charisma, and I am confident. Believe in it before I can even walk in it. It's so important. The words that you speak to yourself expressively, verbally, and internally, it all intertwines with the greatest version of yourself or even the lower version of yourself. That's why it's super important to be super conscious about the biggest thing overall, umbrella, is the way that you speak to yourself, because that is the determining factor if you will ascend mentally to that greater version of yourself. You can never keep yourself locked up in a cage mentally. If you do that, you'll never grow. We stay locked in, we stay focused, we get this money all day, baby girl, all day.